bet why I told you guys this when at the beginning of the episode. His motto was, well, I concluded it to be this. It was something similar to this. But my conclusion was, bring on the heat, I can take it. The reason he said that was when he was executed, he says, bring it on, guys. That's what he actually said. And so there
Wow.
is. So in case you guys are wondering if you'd like to follow this show, Big Jim, the story of a thrill seeker. This is my description with a big name and big ego. James Waybern Hall, serial killer, robberies, gunshot. So if you want to follow this crazy thrill seeker, you can actually you can. There's a book that was published, but not a. Don't look for the movie because I don't really know that exactly at this time, but I do know this. There was a book called, actually, you know what? Also, there's a series of magazine articles because I tried to find the book and I could not find it. But the killings were inspired, as they said, by a series of magazine publications and a book called The Arkansas Butcher. The author is unknown.
Hmm.
Yes, the author is unknown.
So what if the author is him?
What if the author is him? He had, people stay on trial, and I don't know if all of our listeners are privy to this, but people can, like a victim, or I keep saying victim, but the murderer, the accuser, can be on trial for up to 20 years. On trial.
Oh wow, I
No, no,
didn't
no.
know that.
Excuse me. Let me correct myself. Not just on trial. Excuse me, because in a way, you're on trial if you are if your sentence is execution, but if you're on death row, it's kind of like you are still technically on trial because you see what I'm saying, because you haven't lived out your sentence. I mean, you haven't your sentence. You see what
Okay.
I'm saying? So
Yeah, I
yeah, yeah. So
understand.
that's just my take on it. So what I'm saying is, it could have been 10 years that he was awaiting his execution. Okay, look at this. He was executed 1946. Let's go back. Let's go back, okay? The date of arrest, if you guys remember this, is 1980. Well, it says 79 through 83. They didn't explain why it was twice, but I think it's because they probably found the other people later. So let's go. Let's start at 1979 because the date of the first murder was 1975. So 1979 to 19. That doesn't make sense. I don't know why. Date of died January 4th. Excuse me. He died by execution. Okay. So anyway, let's
Mm-hmm.
correct those dates. Those dates don't make sense. But nevertheless, 10 years later or so, he's still on death row. So if you're on death row, you could very well be inspired to write a book to clear your name and hope that it clears your name, or to sway the public and the way they're thinking. So, like Kai said, because
Or not even trying to clear your name. He just wants to be infamous. That's not anything dealing with clearing his name. I don't think he cared about clearing his name. I think he just he did those murders because he enjoyed watching people die, and he if he wrote the book, because we don't even know if he wrote the book, but if he wrote the book, he did it because he wanted to be infamous.
okay. Okay, that yeah, I can go with that. I can go with that. But I don't know. It's just I mean, there's no benefit, Kai, if you know that you're see, my thing is this, if you're on death row, why would you not do something to clear your name, whether it's an article, an op-ed as they call it these days, or a book?
But if you don't care about getting electrocuted, if you don't care about getting what's the word I'm looking for, good lord,
Exonerated? Exonerated?
um huh
Exonerated? What is
no
it?
no executed.
Okay.
Isn't that what I said before, or did I say electrocuted? I
Well,
said electrocuted, I meant
it's still
executed.
an execution.
Look, listeners, we haven't been on air for like six, what is this, going
6 months.
on
Yep.
October, so we haven't,
No,
no no
it's
no, we
been
haven't been on air for like 10 months.
December.
Yeah, we haven't been on air from 10 months between no conduct to now, so I'm
It's
kind of
been
tongue
9
tied.
months. He's right. But no, but
Yeah.
you actually said that was the correct term because it is a type.
Yeah, so if he doesn't care about being executed, then why would he care about clearing his name? That's not the point. If he wrote the book and this is by him, then that's like his little nod to infamy. He just wants to be remembered.
Oh, I see. Really?
It's not about clearing his name. It's not about, anything like that. It's not about anything that rational people
But think
will
that.
understand.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's, he if I'm not saying he definitely wrote this book, but if he did, it would be more about I'm never going to be forgotten. That's
Okay,
it.
well, I stand corrected on something, you guys, so please just forgive me because sometimes these stories are just like, woo! Okay, so he was actually escorted to the chair, as they say, to the lecture chair on January the 4th, 1946. So it was 5 years after he was married. So he didn't have long that he even was able to enjoy his life as a husband, or as a matter of fact, he,
Okay, should he have?
well, I don't know, but my point is he was young. In fact, he had turned 20, okay, he was 24 years old when he was executed in 1946. But it was just a few short days before his 25th birthday. So what I'm saying
Good
is
Lord, I was thinking he was like in
older.
his 40s or
Me
50s or
too, I
something.
know, but no, not at all.
He was
Not at
young.
all. He was a youngin. He just, and his murder, his it's so funny because his trial was only 2 days. He was convicted in less than 2 days and tried to, and
I'm surprised it lasted that
I
long.
know, and sentenced to death. But then once after that, there's a lot of red tape. But like I said, he told them as he was strapped in and fastened to the electrodes, he says, "I can take it. Bring it on." That's
Wow.
crazy, right? Yeah,
I'd be too scared to say any of
yeah.
that.
So,
I'd just be
so
praying.
guys, okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. So that concludes our episode for tonight. Big Jim, Big Jim, I like to call him James Waybern Hall. The story of a serial killer robber, just random robber, left gunshot to the brain to the heart.
Just basically somebody who liked to kill
Just,
and just like chaos and
yeah,
mayhem. That's all.
absolutely. But again, if you guys would like to follow the story, there are a series of articles based on his life, and again, the Arkansas Butcher, if you want to look it up. So we thank you all for listening to this particular episode. Kai, do you want to kind of tell our listeners how to follow us, how to Patreon, if they want to subscribe? But you can
Well,
subscribe
before
without
that,
that,
let's
but
just
yeah.
let's just
Hmm.
let's do a little sneak peek of a bonus
Episode. Oh yeah,
relationship
let's get
question.
one. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do that.
so our bonus episodes for our Patreon subscribers will consist of really really crazy crime, love and murder
Mhm.
stories in addition to just the relationship questions that we get. We'll be able to put together relationship questions and give relationship advice for our Patreon subscribers to listen to. Or if you even want to send in your question, you can go ahead and send it to us, noconductradio@gmail.com, and we can actually answer your question in our bonus episodes. So,
That's right.
uh, here is a question that came into us. My ex girlfriend and I recently broke up. Well, actually, she broke up with him.
Hmm.
So they broke up, but she broke up with him. Um, but it was after he discovered that she was cheating on him, and she was cheating on him a
Oh
lot.
my goodness.
So it turned out to be a nasty breakup. And the problem is they do have a kid together. And if that wasn't enough, they also work together. My God, can you imagine?
Right.
So, so this person wants to know how do they deal with that because not only do they have a kid together, not only do they work together, not only did she cheat on him many many times, but he still loves her. So he wants to know how does he deal with seeing her every freaking
And
day?
not
And not only
not
that,
saying
because if
anything.
you have a kid together, you have to
Yeah,
communicate. And I'm pretty sure, although he still loves her, there's still anger there for
absolutely.
you broke my trust. So he wants to know how does he deal with this situation.
Oh, that's a doozy, Kai. I will say that. Oh my.
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think
I don't know. I don't
if
know.
if I loved my ex and they cheated on
Hmm.
me, I don't believe I can go on seeing this person every day. I could understand you have a kid together, you have to see each other once in a while to exchange the kid. The kid comes to you, whatever, whatever. that I could deal with, but going into work every single day and seeing this person, and more than likely, if they work together, they have to interact with
Yeah, of
each
course.
other
Yeah.
and act like nothing
Hmm.
happened because you got to be professional. I, if it's COVID time, so I can't even tell you to go find another job because there's not many jobs out there.
Dunkin' Donuts
I,
is
I,
hiring,
I,
Kai.
I,
They are, if anyone is interested.
but you don't even know like what kind of money he makes.
Hmm.
He might be making really good money. He can't
Yeah,
just
I
leave it.
agree.
Unfortunately, sir, I'm so sorry to tell you, it's just gonna have to be one of those suck it up buttercups things. You're gonna have to learn how to. You're gonna emotionally have to get over her. First of all,
That's the
that's gonna
hard
be,
part, Kai. That's the hardest part for
yeah,
all
that's
of
the
us. For all
hardest
of us.
part. But once that's
Hmm.
done, I won't even say that you're 100% gonna be better. It's just gonna be easier to deal with the situation. You're gonna have to emotionally separate home from work also. And you can't sit there and, like, if she's in the office wearing that little blue dress that
Right,
you
that
like,
hot little blue
you
devil in a
can't
blue
sit,
dress.
yeah,
Devil in a blue
you
dress.
can't sit there and just stare at her and just like, oh, I remember the good
Hmm.
times where we used to laugh over this and over that. you know
You have to use
you're really
restraints.
gonna,
I would say that. Restraints. That's
yeah,
the word.
you need to like not look at her, only interact with her when you need to,
Hmm.
and try and just stay away from her as much as possible until you feel yourself like you feel like you've healed on the internally. You feel like you could deal with her without getting emotions involved. I mean, there's not much you could do. She is embedded in your
Yes,
life.
yes, yes.
So the only thing you can do is like you need to learn how to control your emotions. Because you can't control her. There's nothing you can do in that aspect. You need to control yourself, control your emotions, try and get over your love for her, and then just conduct yourself in a professional way uh, in the workforce as well as when y'all are dealing with the kid. So I wish you luck in that. It sounds like you have a hard, long road ahead of you. So I do wish you luck in that. And I hope I guess in a year or so, 6 months, hopefully it doesn't take a whole year, 6 months from now, please come back in our relationship group on Facebook, Relationship Health Question and Answers, and update us as to what's going on with you, because I really want to know, not off of you. I just want to know. I'm being nosy, but I'm really concerned and really want to know and hope for your well
Of
being.
course,
So
absolutely. And Kai, that's
yeah,
really, really great advice. I think that's very positive and very resourceful advice, Kai. Honestly, it was. I have to admit, in no conduct, we were just so hilariously sarcastic with some of our advice answers, but people loved it. So again, like Kai said, if you guys want to write into the show, please don't hesitate. Don't be shy. No question is too weird, strange, or out there. Remember, our show is love and murder. What could be crazier than that? So definitely, you want to go into our relationship podcast or podcast or relationship
I mean,
platform,
some of your questions
on
is going to
Facebook.
be weird and out there, and I'm not going to lie. Char might not clown you, but I will. So
No, that's not true. We were all, if you guys go back, it's so funny because we had so much fun over the last 5 years with No Conduct. But if you go back and listen to some of our archived episodes, it was tremendously crazy, hilarious the things that we would say to these people, but yet they would come back for more. And I would say to Logic sometimes, like, why are we giving them this advice again? And why are they asking us for advice? But people loved it.
well,
We were
you
just being
get,
real and just
look,
being ourselves, I guess.
sometimes some of the questions that come
I
in,
mean,
you
some of it, it's like, come on,
look,
you knew the answer to this. Did you really have to
yeah,
go
you're
there?
really asking for
Please,
this
like,
answer.
thank God it's anonymous, Kai. It's anonymous. You guys are protected. Don't fear.
It's anonymous.
There,
It's
it's
anonymous.
unanimous. No, no, anonymous. I'm kidding.
It's
Anonymous.
anonymous.
Oh, it took me 5 years, but I finally learned to say it. Anonymous. Did I say it right this time? It's anonymous.
I'm not correcting you.
I was correcting corrected me on my French earlier. I've been studying French. It's a long story. She corrected me on that. If I can't learn English and it's my first language, oh, there's God help us.